Firefox is a 1982 American action techno thriller film produced, directed by and starring Clint Eastwood. It is based upon the 1977 novel of the same name by Craig Thomas. The film was set in Russia, but Cold War considerations had Eastwood's and Malpaso Company using Vienna and other locations in Austria to double for many of the Eurasian story locations. One source indicates that the film was shot on a $21 million budget, the largest production budget edge ever for Malpaso. Another source indicates that over $20 million was spent on special effects. However, the film, Firefox, did not end when it was released to the public. The last scene of the movie is when Gant sets the homing coordinates on the computer and then enters the end credits. Due to the critical acclaim of the movie, the original author wrote a sequel to Firefox in 1983, Firefox Down. The story continues from the end of the movie. Craig Thomas dedicated the first edition of the novel to Clint Eastwood, who starred as Mitchell Gant in the film adaptation of the first novel, stating, "For Clint Eastwood, pilot of the Firefox. Today we review the complete story of Firefox and its sequels." In the depths of the Cold War, where the line between survival and annihilation was razor thin, a covert mission launched to infiltrate the Soviet Union's most guarded secrets. At its heart, the MiG-31 Firefox, an advanced fighter jet boasting hypersonic speeds, radar invisibility, and revolutionary thought-controlled weaponry. Tasked with this daring operation was former U.S. Air Force Major Mitchell Gant, a Vietnam veteran with a unique edge, fluency in Russian, inherited from his mother, and unmatched combat skills. With the help of an underground network of Soviet dissidents, Gant embarked on a high-stakes journey into enemy territory. The mission's turning point came at Bilyarsk Air Base, where the Firefox prototype lay under heavy guard. Supported by dissident scientists risking their lives, Gant infiltrated the base. His objectives: steal the first Firefox and destroy the second prototype to ensure the Soviets couldn't replicate its devastating potential. Against all odds, Gant successfully commandeered the aircraft, but the mission was far from over. Pursued relentlessly by Soviet forces, he relied on the Firefox's advanced capabilities to evade capture and rendezvous with a U.S. submarine in the Arctic, a brief reprieve to refuel and learn. However, Major Gant's refusal to eliminate a T. Colonel Yuri Voskov, the Soviet test pilot assigned to the second prototype, proved costly. Voskov took to the skies in pursuit, resulting in a high-stakes dogfight over the frigid North Cape. Using every ounce of skill and the Firefox's advanced weaponry, Gant triumphed, destroying Voskov's aircraft with a rearward missile. With the Soviet threat neutralized, he resumed his journey to safety, securing the Firefox's secrets for the West. This fictional account from the 1982 film Firefox, directed by and starring Clint Eastwood, captures the imagination of Cold War-era tensions and the race for technological superiority, while the MiG-31 Firefox remains a work of fiction. Its depiction serves as a gripping reminder of the daring risks taken during an age defined by espionage and innovation. Clint Eastwood's 1982 film Firefox brought to life a mythical Soviet super fighter, the MiG-31 Firefox, a machine of imagination inspired by cutting-edge aviation technology. But how does this cinematic creation compare to its real-world counterpart, the Korean MiG-31? The Ets Firefox aircraft was envisioned as a hypersonic marvel, capable of Mach 6 radar invisibility and even thought-controlled weaponry. Its design, influenced by the SR-71 Blackbird, was meant to intimidate. In contrast, the real MiG-31, developed in the 1970s, is a high-speed interceptor designed to dominate the skies with Mach 3 speed and advanced radar systems. For the film, a full-scale Firefox replica was constructed, 66 feet long, 44 feet wide, and 20 feet high, it could taxi at up to 40 miles per hour, creating a realistic on-screen presence. Meanwhile, the actual Mi-31 boasts a combat range of over 1,500 kilometers, making it a formidable presence in real-world operations. The MiG-31 Foxhound, born from the need to defend against high-altitude threats during the Cold War. This supersonic behemoth continues to be a crucial component of Russia's air defense strategy in the 21st century. The MiG-31 story begins with its predecessor, the MiG-25 Foxbat, a high-speed interceptor to counter the threat of American reconnaissance aircraft like the SR-71 Blackbird. However, the MiG-25 had limitations in its radar and maneuverability. This led to the development of a more advanced platform. The MiG-31 is a twin-engine, two-seat interceptor designed for all weather, beyond visual range engagements. Its powerful D-30F6 turbofan engines give it a top speed of Mach 283, making it one of the fastest combat aircraft in the world. The key to its effectiveness is the Zaslon radar, the world's first phased array radar on a fighter aircraft. This powerful radar allows the MiG-31 to track multiple targets simultaneously and engage them with long-range air-to-air missiles. Over the years, the MiG-31 has undergone several upgrades, resulting in variants like 31BM, which features improved avionics and radar capabilities. The MiG-31K, a specialized variant, is designed to carry the K-47M2 Kinjal hypersonic missile, a weapon that poses a significant challenge to modern air defense systems. In Russia's layered air defense system, the MiG-31 plays a crucial role in intercepting threats at long range, acting as a first line of defense against incoming attacks. Its ability to cover vast distances and engage multiple targets makes it an invaluable asset for protecting Russia's vast airspace. But in the film stage, it's a completely different story. Firefox Down picks up where the film left off. Gant discovered that during the air battle just now, his Firefox was hit by a cannon and began to leak fuel. He estimated there was not enough fuel left to fly to a NATO air base. He remembered the scene of being resupplied by the United States on the Arctic ice, so he decided to make an emergency landing on a frozen lake in neutral Finland. Before landing, he sent an encrypted message to the United States, but unexpectedly it was received by British intelligence. Due to the damage to the Firefox's body, its stealth ability was also affected. Therefore, Soviet air defense units quickly tracked it on radar and dispatched ice troops. After landing, Gant drove the Firefox to a secret location to hide. He knew that he had to go out to seek help, try to repair the aircraft body, and replenish fuel. But I didn't expect that he was very unlucky. Gant was captured by the KGB and taken back to the Soviet Union, where he faced harsh interrogation by Soviet colonels and General Murad. Meanwhile, NATO formed a task force to fish out the Firefox before the Soviets discovered it. Gant showed resilience during his time in Soviet captivity. With the help of Anna, codenamed Burgo, a Soviet informant working for the British, who served as the mistress of a high-ranking KGB officer. Gant began his escape. Anna risks everything to help Gant, and the two of them pretend to be husband and wife. Pursued relentlessly by the KGB, traveling through intrigue and dangerous country roads, their mission sublimates into passion. Move from Moscow to Leningrad and finally to the Finnish border. But their mission is costly. Meanwhile, the Soviets discovered the Firefox location before NATO forces did. General Murad wanted to salvage it intact, so he sent a supply force to perform simple repairs, refueling and ammunition on it. While the NATO team hampered by bad weather, received orders to destroy it. Gant and Anna arrived nearby, Soviet helicopters and troops converging on the Firefox's location. Since the Firefox only had one seat, Gant was unable to take Anna with him. At this time, Anna decided to sacrifice herself to help Gant create a chance to board the Firefox. She ran across the frozen lake and attracted the attention of the soldiers. When Gant entered the cockpit, he saw Anna lying on the ground after being shot, waiting for death on the ice. The PTSD he acquired in Vietnam coincided with the onset of gastroesophageal reflux. For death fuels Gant's resolve to complete the mission and honor those who helped him, leaving one option. Gant must fly the Firefox out of the frozen lake. He did not hesitate to fire on Soviet troops and trucks on the ice. The truck exploded and burned after being hit, and the soldiers scattered. General Murad was so frightened that he took off in his Mi-8 helicopter, leaving the soldiers on the ice. Gant had to leave before reinforcements arrived, so he let the Mi-8 helicopter go. Despite extensive damage and a failing anti-radar system, Gant takes to the skies once more in the Firefox. Evading Soviet helicopters and MiG, he races through hostile airspace, pushing the aircraft to its limits. General Murad only helped the Firefox with field repairs. As the aircraft system began to deteriorate during high-speed flight, Gant tried to land at Bardufoss in northern Norway, but the base was closed due to bad weather, so Gant decided to go to his original destination Ravscampton. Because the Firefox's stealth system completely failed, it was subsequently pursued by Mi-8 fighter jets over Norway. Gant gave up the air battle and instead used the Firefox's speed advantage to surpass the pursuees. This risky move, after evading Soviet MiGs, caused a malfunction in the oxygen supply equipment, and Gant survived using backup oxygen and reached Ravscampton. Firefox's speed advantage allowed him to outrun his pursuers, and he was safely escorted into British airspace by multiple Harrier II fighter jets from the RAF. Firefox Down is a masterful tale of Cold War tension, personal sacrifice, and high-tech espionage. Though it was never adapted into a feature film, the novel remains a thrilling sequel, immortalizing the iconic black Mi-31 Fox in the annals of fictional aviation history.